All right, all right, all right. We'll wait for people to file in here. What up, what up, what up, what up? Yeah. When a couple more people file in, I'll tell them what just happened because I was actually on time at 45 after. Hello, 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 hello. Libra. She got right into it. Um, Let me make sure everybody filed in and then I'll let everybody know what just happened because I just had some technical difficulties. Um, Man, they get into it. What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, we just gonna let everybody file in, uh, and then I'm gonna let everybody know what just happened. So I guess for those of you who are watching the playback, um, what just happened was earlier today, I was on my phone and I set the live alert. I scheduled it. I set it. Apparently, if you set your live alert on your phone, YouTube wants to force you to go live on your phone. I didn't plan on going live on my phone. I planned on going live on the computer, but I just set the alert on my phone because I was at work. YouTube didn't allow me to start the live from the computer because I didn't set it up on the computer. And I don't know if that's a glitch or what, but it told me I had to go to my mobile device to start my live. And so for the last 10 minutes, I've been trying to just start the live that I scheduled because everybody was in the chat room just waiting. So that's what happened. Um, so sorry for the delay, but I've actually been at the computer since 45 after trying to figure out why I can't just start the session I already started. Can everybody hear me? Can I see some ones in the comment section if everybody can hear me? I did a podcast the other day and people could not. Yeah, YouTube be tripping. It's pretty annoying. Again, ones in the comment section if you can hear me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. All right, we're gonna get into this. I'm excited to be talking to y'all this evening. Um, yeah, so anyway, that was just weird. And so it wouldn't let me start the schedule. Y'all see, I had to start like 2 or 3 lives, just trying to figure out how to get back to the one. So now I'm here. Hello to everybody who said hello. What's up to everybody who said what's up? I guess we're gonna get right into it. Um, is there anything I need to talk about? Oh, I'm taking time off to finish my book this week. So in this weekend and next week. So my book will be absolutely done within the next 30 days. And I would hope to be putting it out right after that. So if you're interested in buying my book, stay tuned for more information on how you can purchase that, where you can get it, and where you can potentially get a free copy so that you can review and let everybody know what you think of it. Um, I'll be doing some other giveaways around the book as well. So stay tuned for that. Also, happy Juneteenth for those of you who celebrate in Juneteenth. It could become a paid government holiday today, so we're excited about that. We always love paid time off, but also the acknowledgement of the delayed freedom that many African Americans had. So happy Juneteenth, everyone. Um, I'm gonna jump right into it. Miss Charles in the comment section. How you doing, Miss Charles? Ashley Beverly, love and respect Ashley Beverly. She $10 super chat, and I was gonna answer it anyway, but I appreciate you. She said, "How can I attract the right man? I get approached by lots of bums, so any advice will help." Attracting the right man is not much different from attracting the wrong man. The problem is if you're attractive, then most people you will attract most of everything. You know, no different than a woman might attract the wrong man or bums. Then nice guys attract scandalous women. They're not blind; they see you as well as the quality man. Unfortunately, they're just more aggressive. They're quicker on the shoot or on the draw. I'm sorry. They get to what they want a lot quicker because they just date more efficiently. They don't waste a lot of time with feelings or emotions or morals or values or integrity. Um, So yeah, you probably attract good men or the right men, but you probably attract some bums as well, or you definitely attract some bums. The problem is not who you attract in company to good men, but who you select. So it's not about attracting the right man. If you're attractive and you're doing the right things, you're going to attract the right men for the most part, as long as you're not marketing to bums by overutilizing your sexuality and your presentation to the world, and the cheaper parts of you or the more common parts of you. You know, we all have sexual organs, and to throw that in a man's face doesn't necessarily lead to the best response. But like I said, bums are going to see you regardless. The bums will see a woman with wife qualities, and they still try to make her a side chick. Bums just do that. It's just about selecting the right man. So that has to be your focus: selecting the right man. I always tell women to check their friend zone if they're looking for the right man, and a lot of times that the guy is not the right man, but men like him exist. It just takes a longer time for you to become excited about them and to appreciate what they have to offer. But a lot of times that boring person or that guy that you really just don't notice turns out to be the love of your life. And I've had a lot of clients that if they can slow themselves down enough to make selections based on the qualities they need and not the things that excite them as much, then they ultimately become very excited about the guys that what they would otherwise have ignored. So I hope that helps. KDW80. KDW80 sounds like a radio station. Anyway, shout out to you. I don't see a question, but thanks for the $5 super chat. If you do have a question, just restate it in the comment section, and I'm sure Pretty Girl will get it to me. Let's dig into these questions. Hi from France. What's up, Lindsay Lowe? Hi from France. Hi from America. I'm going to drink some of this. We on. Somebody said, Divine 15, I was about to answer this. She said, what do guys like to talk about on the first date? Guys like to talk about the same world of ideas that women like to talk about. Generally, things they're interested in, but also if they're interested in you, things that interest you. If a man is pretty neutral about you, then he'll talk about himself. Unless he's trying to qualify himself to you, then he'll talk about himself a lot. But otherwise, men who are very interested in you want to talk about you. They're curious about you, so they have a lot of questions about you. Some men aren't very good at dates. They're like quizzes and tests. Some people just don't do well with quizzes and tests. So if a guy's not the best performer on the first date, give him some time to warm up. But guys like to talk about anything. If you want to impress a guy or have a good date, try to get him talking about something that he's very interested in and very passionate about. That tends to be a really good way to go, and it helps people a lot to calm down, to talk about the things that they're most comfortable with and that they're most knowledgeable about on a date. So that might be a tip for you if you haven't tried that before. VC, thank you for the $10 super chat. VC says, been friends with this guy for almost 2 years. We both didn't want a relationship. Been intimate, starting to catch feelings, but I feel like he doesn't want me. We can't let go of each other. How can we move on? You can move on by stop screwing each other if you're still doing that. But also, you need a little bit of space. I don't think you can move on still sharing space with each other, still always in each other's grills. I think it's really important to get some separation built between the two of you, because there's no way that you can have a friends with benefits situation or an intimate situation and still maintain some emotional freedom or establish an emotional freedom. You're going to be dependent on each other emotionally and sexually until you create new avenues for yourself and new energy around yourself. I hope that helps. So some space, a lot of space. You just give yourself a break. Agree to be friends from a distance for a while. Jay Nicholas, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. She says, why are guys so hot and cold? Guy I'm talking to calls me babe every day. He's 6 hours away. I feel like I'm always leading the conversation. Guys are hot and cold because people are hot and cold. People have issues, communication issues. They have weaknesses and strengths. Everybody's not equipped socially or intellectually to have great conversations or to to lead in conversation. But I can say, if you're leading in conversation is something that you don't like, then it would it would behoove you to probably just pick another guy, because he's well within his nature to let you lead in conversation, or you haven't found the thing that he likes to talk about. You haven't found the thing that he likes to share about. And until you find whatever makes him passionately speak, you're probably going to be bored on the phone. So unless you can tap into his passions and let him talk about the things that matter to him, and hope that you care about those things and want to hear about them, until that happens, you'd be better off just talking to somebody else if you're not being entertained enough, especially if it's at a distance. I hope that helps. Pronounced Vania. Pronounced Vania. How you doing, Vania? Love and respect to you. I'm sure you probably had to correct people, and that's why your name is pronounced Vania. I love it. She said, "Do you recommend being friends first, or is that just a delay from committing?" Yes, pronounced Vania. I absolutely recommend being friends first. It's pivotal. It's important. It's paramount that you be friends first. Now, I'm saying friends first, but not friend zone. But also, friendship does not require sex. Friendship does not require sexual intimacy. So there's a very fine line between what people are calling friendship now and just being test driven indefinitely. So yes, I do recommend being friends first, but I actually believe in like legitimate friendships, literally actually just being friends with each other and not exploring each other sexually. If you have sparks, if you have a connection, a real connection, not just a crush, but a real connection, if you would agree with each other, otherwise, it's a good idea to hold off and allow those tensions to build while just exploring each other, as friends. It's not a problem if two people really are interested in each other. They will wait. They will wait. They will be patient. Two people or a guy specifically who can't be patient enough to be around you and not be sexually gratified is not trying to be a friend. He's trying to be a lover. And while lovers and friends are often, those terms are often used interchangeably, they're not. A lover is somebody that you obviously are having sex with and being romantic with. A friend is somebody you protect and are loyal to and support. A lover is not necessarily a friend. And so make sure that you establish the friendship first. That way you have the loyalty of the person once you become lovers. Part of the reason why girls are and women and even guys out here are being cheated on so badly is because they're not becoming very good friends with the person that they call lovers. They are starting with the relationship first and with the romance first, and in doing that, they never establish the loyalty that a friend is generally honored with. You want to be friends first. You want to be an important person in their life first. You want them to care about you, not only your day-to-day life, but the result of your whole life. You want them to care about your trajectory and your potential being realized. Like, that's a real friend. A friend cares about everything in your life. They might not always kiss your ass or tell you what you want to hear or talk to you every day, but they care about your person. They care about your humanity. They care about your spirit and where you go in life. And a real friend is the best type of lover. So I hope that helps. Aisha, love and respect. She says, "Thank you for all the advice you give out here. Just dropping some blessings. Continue to be blessed. As well as you as well, Aisha. I appreciate you. I feel very blessed to be able to help people and have a voice that does good for people. And so I feel blessed, and I think that's spot on for how I feel day to day. Somebody said, um, uh, what part of LA are you from? Yeah, I think what part of LA are you from? I'm not from LA. I'm from Ohio, and that's all I can tell y'all because some people crazy, and some of y'all be pillow talking. Kev Vic told me to leave you, and I don't want to have to, you know. Yeah, well, we gonna disagree. We just gonna go on. But anyway, I'm not from LA. I'm from Ohio. Somebody said Happy Juneteenth. What up, Smokey? What up? What's going on? What this is? Hold on, y'all. Text me what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Oh, my bad. Yeah, got it. Okay. My phone's on silent. Pretty girl was texting me some questions missing, and I didn't hear them because my phone's on silent. I appreciate her. She's the reason why this whole ship and this whole thing moves. Jasmine Artis gave me a $2 super chat. Thank you so much for that. Tyler, what was her question? Oh, and KDW80 says, we'll talk to you about women with low self-esteem. Will you talk about women with low self-esteem and getting out of the cycle of being played and hurt? Um, Will you talk about women with low self-esteem and getting out of the cycle of being played and hurt? Yes. I can briefly talk about that. Thank you for that question, and thank you for that $5 super chat. That's what I was missing the question. So, um, if I get into low self esteem, we'll be here for a while. And but I can say the cycle of being played and hurt has a lot to do with your low self esteem. Some people think self esteem is like a static thing; you either have it or you don't have it. But that's not the case. Self esteem is cyclical. There in cycles in your life, your decisions affect your self-esteem, and your self-esteem affects your decisions. Right? It's a never-ending cycle. Right? You've never arrived at self-esteem and can trust that you'll stay there despite terrible decisions. You always have to protect your self-esteem with great decisions, and then in turn your great decisions add to and build upon your self-esteem. In the Wise Sisterhood, Sunday's video is about that very concept, protecting your self-esteem and how to do that through the decisions you make and the choices you make, in, not only in men, but with your own actions and boundaries. Um, yeah, so self-esteem is something that depends on decision making, and your decision making oftentimes depend on your self-esteem. They can exist separately, but most of the time they're very, very close together. They're a pair. And so women who are in a continuous cycle or a downward spiral of self-esteem issues are generally committing themselves to patterns that are adversarial to what would be considered good self-esteem. And if we've ever paid much attention to the people we know with the lowest self-esteem around us, we've all noticed that the people with lowest self-esteem make the most terrible decisions, or make more terrible decisions and more destructive decisions on a very regular basis because of that self-esteem issue. It's extremely important that you protect your self-esteem with your decisions, and make sure that you never perpetuate or usher in self-esteem issues with decisions that would be otherwise made by somebody with lower self-esteem. You always have to remember, we always heard that, what would Jesus do? What would Jesus do? At least us as kids, those wristbands and bracelets and necklaces were everywhere. What would the version of you with high self-esteem do? What would the self-loving version of you do in this situation? Because sometimes you're not the 2.0 version of yourself. When you meet somebody, you're in a weakened state. Sometimes somebody ushers you into a weakened state. So you have to always remember what the strongest version of you, even if you're not that at the moment, what that person would do. What the strong version of you, what would the empowered version of you do? What would the version of you with dominion, with authority and boundaries, and a healthy self-concept, what would that person do in this situation? And follow that person's lead, that version of yourself, follow that version's lead. And that's how you keep your self-esteem. But if you already have low self-esteem, you perpetuate it by making the type of decisions that people with low self-esteem make. There's a quote that says, broke people say broke shit. Well, people with low self-esteem do self-destructive shit. That's just that's the cycle. It's cyclical. It's not fixed. I have very high self-esteem. And some people hate it, some people love it. I've made peace with whatever reaction I might get, but I can tell you that if I started doing stuff that was adversarial to that, that didn't parallel with that was in contradictory to what I believe about myself, then ultimately my self-esteem would be a reflection of my decisions. And so I go from empowered, powerful, authoritative to weak. To pathetic, to feeling dumb, to all of those things that you say about yourself when you're disappointed in who you've become, or who you're becoming with somebody. That would start to affect me in the same way it affects you. No one is above low self-esteem. That's why it's so easy for an empowered woman to get with a narcissist and end up being a weak woman. So it's very important that your decision making is always impacted by your need for self-esteem. It has to be a need. Prayer and patience, love and respect to you. She said, Kevin, God bless you and your family. Without playing games, how do you keep a man on his toes, wanting more from you, or wanting more of you in a marriage? I suppose, first of all, you have to choose a man who wants to give more. It's very important that in the husband that you choose a man who doesn't believe that this marriage is the destination, right? That forever is the destination, right? That 20-year anniversary is the destination. That 30-year anniversary, that a re-giving of the vows, or the vow renewal is the destination, right? You need to pick a man who has that same idea and that same commitment to keeping you on your toes by being his best self. And if you choose to partner wisely, if you choose the man in your life wisely, and you can come to an agreement with each other that that is the goal that you have, um, I think it's easy enough, because two people evolving for each other and with each other are always entertained and always on their toes, and they're always pleased with each other. But two people living separate lives, just sleeping in the same bed, not really serving each other with intent and purpose, will ultimately both not be on their toes, and find themselves tired of each other or bored. So I hope that helps. But nurture your relationship through decision making, and through habits, and goal setting, and team goal setting, and have a team thing, have a relationship thing, something that belongs to you guys. Um, it's really important that you have that together. If you don't have that together, if you're not growing and evolving together, then you'll reach a point where you don't have that. Miss Charles, it just went away, but love and respect to you. Thank you so much. She was just showing love and support, and I appreciate it. Um, she's been supporting for a while. Let me make sure I ain't miss nobody else. Um, yeah, so thank you so much, Miss Charles. I appreciate you. She show up every time. Um, Somebody said Brianna Casey. Uh, Thank you so much for your super chat. Love and respect. She said, I don't know if this guy is playing with me or playing me. We've been intimate for a year. Together we cuddle, enjoy. She said, together we cuddle, enjoy each other, talk outside of that. He doesn't call or text. Should I just move on? Um, you've been intimate for a year. You cuddle. That's just more physical intimacy. Some people need that too. You enjoy each other. Of course you do. You're physically intimate, and otherwise probably being very nice to each other to keep that going. You talk. I don't know when you talk, but you say outside of that, he doesn't call or text. So I suppose you talk after you're physically intimate while you're cuddling, which makes you feel loved and wonderful, and he neglects you and disappears. Um, I don't think you're looking for the same thing from him that he's looking for from you. Uh, I don't think if he doesn't have a need or want to be connected to you in any way once you move away from him, or once you're not in his presence, if you're out of sight and it really means you're out of mind with him, then it could be that he's just not looking for the same amount of commitment. First of all, if you've been intimate with a guy for a year and you don't know where you stand, then you've wasted a year. And again, I don't mean to make you feel bad about that, but you always have to have a direction. You should always know where you're going. I think too many of us are aimless in the way we approach our relationships, just trying to enjoy every moment, which you only live once. YOLO, I get it. But you should always have a plan. You should always know where you're going, especially after a year. At no point should you ever be intimate with a guy for that long, cuddling and talking for that long, and you don't know what he wants from you at the end of it all. I think that's why I always say friends first, because if you're a friend to someone, if you've developed enough emotional intimacy and emotional honesty that you're a friend of someone, it's very easy to have that conversation, because you speak freely with one another, and two friends can do that, but two lovers sometimes can't, because you have to assume the role of a friend to connect with them in that way. You have to assume the role of someone who already has that emotional intimacy with them, and sometimes you don't. Physical intimacy is just physical intimacy. If people are intimate with strippers, there are men who kiss strippers in the mouth. There are men who kiss hookers in the mouth. There are men who pay for love from women of the night, the street women, the prostitutes, and they make love to them like they care. And it's just that, because some people need a physical gratification and they need physical love, they need physical affection, and you don't that doesn't replace the friendship, that doesn't replace the vulnerability or the intimacy, or the loyalty that is established during friendship. So back to my original point, friends first, not friend zone, but friends first. And yes, you've been talking to this gentleman for a year. I don't think that it's fair that you don't know where you are, but again, you've gotten what you've required from him, which is ambiguity. You've gone for it. So build some standards and some barriers, and try to figure out if that structure helps you, or just have a real stern talk with him, figure out what he wants. Christine Potter, I'm going to try to freeze this before it jumps. Can I ask my boyfriend? Damn, it jumped. Okay, wait, I got it. Can I ask my boyfriend wants me to come over on Tuesday and Thursday or to Thursday, but I told him I'm busy. Now his silent treatment on me for 3 days. Now, what do I do? If you have a man that is giving you the silent treatment, then that tells me that you guys have a very weak way of communicating with each other. And what he's not saying with words, he's trying to say with actions, but it's very elementary. I think you have a very elementary immature boyfriend, and that's problematic. So I would hope that y'all learn how to talk to each other and deal with issues like adults, because I don't know if this is going to last. If this is his first natural instinct to do this. Okay, so when I got a couple $5 questions in a row and a $1 question, I need to get these out the way so they don't disappear and I lose them. Okay, like this. Okay. Caramelized Sugar said, what does it mean when you constantly end up attracted to men who end up not being single? This has happened to me 3 times in the last 3 years. It means that you're probably interested or intrigued by a man's unavailability and a man's disregard or indifference to you. It makes you feel excited. It makes you feel like it's challenging. But that challenge is always going to destroy you in the long run. And especially if you have a cycle that you form of always doing that, which you expressed here. It's not a good idea you need to always check yourself and what you're attracted to by a man. If it's the excitement of potentially losing that opportunity, then you need to pick a different reason to like a guy. But that's a much longer concept to describe, and I think that some of my videos explain that concept a little better. It's a lot to get into here, but write me on Instagram and put 2 stars in the front of it so I know it's you if I didn't answer your question well enough. Aki says, how do you know when a man really finds you physically attractive? I am in my first relationship at 21. I have low self-esteem. If a man's with you, if he went on a date with you, he found you physically attractive. If he's in a relationship with you, if he made you his girlfriend, he's physically attractive. A guy has to want to bang you to even go on a date with you or to talk to you on the phone, to be quite honest with you. I don't know if I've ever talked on the phone with a girl or a woman that I wouldn't have not had sex with. I don't know if that's a thing. So he's already physically attracted to you, but there's nothing he can do. Even if you found out that he was super physically attracted to you, there's nothing he can do to make you believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, you need to do the things that would cause you to believe in yourself, whatever those might be. If you're putting off losing weight, do it for you. If you're putting off getting in some particular type of shape, do it for you. If you need a style change or whatever you need to do for you, only you can give you self-esteem. He can't give you self-esteem as attracted as he is to you. It will not work if you need it from him. You need to validate you and figure out how to make you feel better about you, because of course he's attracted to you. He's with you. But if you'll never believe him because you're not attracted to you, then there's a problem. And your problem is a lot deeper than whether or not he wants to bang you or thinks you're physically attractive. Okay, I got some. I'm getting your text messages. She's texting me people too. Diane Salazar says, I'm starting nursing school this August, and I will need to take out loans. Are guys willing to date women who are financially unstable? Hell yes. Guys aren't looking for financial stability for women. Most guys aren't. There are some guys who date. There's some guys who date women and are looking for like a partner, like a team, and because they're really, really ambitious. But most guys aren't looking for a woman's financial stability. They're looking for the femininity that a woman brings, the support, the caring behavior, the inspiration, the motivation, the love making, all of those things. Not whether or not a woman is going to have some money to put up. As long as you're not a bill to him, he'll be fine with you. So don't become a bill or a liability, and you'll be okay. Most men don't care about you got money in your pocket. I hope that helps. Okay. I still got some here. Okay. Sanja Teal. I'm trying to get to everybody. Salome. Love and respect. One of your more seasoned supporters who was back in the dating scene. Someone should have warned me. Just showing love, bro. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Well, I'm glad you're back in the love scene. It's still rough out here, but it's doable. Somebody says, so Caramelized Sugar says, I'm still going to get these. She says, no, I mean, you're getting to know a guy, attracted to him, then find out that they are not single. That's what I meant, like months later. Oh, if you're being lied to, then you need to do some more recognizance. You need to be getting on your 007 a little bit more. Did I say that right? Recognizance. Y'all know the word I'm talking about. Do your damn own investigations. All right, okay. Do you get your 007 on? You're not checking these guys out enough. You're allowing these guys to tell you their truth, and you're not double checking. And it appears that you're attracting liars. I don't know why that is. I don't know if that's just your luck, but start double checking behind these guys and start doing a little bit more work. Otherwise, just take your time and take inventory of the cues. A guy with a girlfriend is going to only have a limited availability. He's not going to be able to spend a whole lot of time with you. And he's not going to be able to spend too many nights in a row, and he's not going to be able to give you too much phone time. There are a lot of things that will give up the fact that he's splitting his time. So you need to focus on cues that he's splitting his time. And I think I'll do a video about that. Pretty girl, text me that cues that a guy's splitting his time. I think I can do a video for you and show you better than I can tell you, or tell you better than I can tell you in this video. Whitney J, $5 super chat. Mic drop from the pair with the headband on. Shout out to that pair. I appreciate you. S. Williamson says, left 15-year relationship a month ago. And I do have some super chats on here I'm getting. So if I haven't got you yet, I'm about to get you. She said, left 15-year relationship 1 month ago. He expressed that he feels discarded. No marriage, but don't doubt he loves me and wants to be right decision. It doesn't matter how he feels. You left a 15 relationship. So you had a reason for leaving that 15-year relationship. Stop worrying about whether or not how he feels. If you didn't feel safe, you didn't feel satiated, you didn't feel loved, and somehow or another you were disenchanted, and it's not salvageable, if it's irreconcilable, then that's what matters, not necessarily that he feels discarded. Of course he's going to feel discarded. There's always going to be some grief and some regret, but you don't owe nobody your life, no matter how much how hurt they are, how they feel. You do not owe a man your life, and a man does not owe a woman his life. If they're not making you happy and they're in fact causing you unhappiness, then it's time to go. Jasmine Ortiz, thank you for the $1.99 super chat. You sent that a while ago. Brooklyn NYC, thank you for the $2 super chat. She sent that a while ago. Jennifer Lucas, you sent this a minute ago, and people just kept jumping in, and it's a lot to. But she said, any advice about single dads with full custody? Yeah, single dads with full custody. I talked to somebody about this today. They need to know that you have the potential and the propensity to support their children. Even though you're not going to be their mom, you're going to be a mother image, you're going to be a mother figure. They need to see that willingness. Single men with full custody who are dedicated to their children are in the market for a woman who can also dedicate herself and lighten his load a little bit. Any step parent or any spouse of a person with full custody and a lot of kids, or kids in general, I'm sorry, not a lot of kids, but they're always going to need that support, and they're looking for a partner to help in that parenthood and in that child rearing, and that influence and that motivation and inspiration and love and nurturing of them children. So if you're not willing to do that, you got to back away. Just like I tell men who aren't mature enough to date women with kids, you got to back away if you're not willing to be a big part of those children's lives as a secondary or even a third figure of a mother. Show concern for his kids and never get in the way of it. Never become an impediment or an obstacle with him and his kids, and never make him choose. And then love him like you would otherwise. And I think if he feels supported and feels loved, then you got it. You don't need a whole lot else. But he needs to know that you're for his kids and not against them, or not an adversarial to his relationship with them. Diana Salazar. I'm sorry, Diana Salazar. I'm starting nursing because I didn't need to take out loans. Okay, cool. I think I got you. Yeah, with the nursing, with the loans. If you're starting nursing school, you always want to make sure, or if you're starting nursing school, or if you have loans in general, you want to make sure you set yourself up to be financially stable, because you can't count on relationships. But again, guys aren't dating women because they have money in their pockets. They're trying to figure out, how they love, how they make love, and, how they coexist, if they're emotionally intelligent, all of those things. Perfectly Imperfect says there's no benefit to a friends with benefit situation for women more often than not. And she's absolutely right. More often than not, I mean, outside of your sexual gratification, and people always tell me, women have their needs. They do. But they also have their wants, and unfortunately, people confuse sexual gratification for a need when it's a want, and so they destroy their lives chasing a want. It's very important that you should. It's very important that you make sure that you're chasing your needs and that you're doing what needs to be done for your mental health and your spiritual health and your physical health, and not just convincing yourself that you have sexual needs, therefore you're going to absorb the energy of a man who's not in your best interest. I think that's counterintuitive. I don't know what this currency is, but thank you so much. I remember. I guess that's a whole nother story. Um, but thank you so much, Sylvia Bravo, for. I'm not sure what that is. I don't know what an MX is, or what currency that is. I know 1,000 Indian rupees is not $1,000. It's still good, and I appreciate it. But YouTube seems to. YouTube doesn't know the difference between the $25 in a different currency yet, and $1,000 in American currency. So I don't know what the value of that is, but I appreciate it regardless. Love and respect to you. Just point that out for people who are wondering. They're not giving me like, sometimes people be thinking, oh my God, you got $4,000. No, I got 4,000 rupees. There's a difference, love and respect. Anyway, Sylvia Bravo says, and I appreciate it all. But how do you feel about online dating? How can you tell if a guy is serious, not crazy, and worth it from their Facebook profile? Grew up in California, but live in MX, and don't agree with me in my Mexican culture. Okay, so Mexican dollars. I don't know what the. How can you tell a man is serious, not crazy? You cannot tell a man is not crazy, or you cannot tell whether or not a man is crazy or serious sometimes from his Facebook profile. That is not something that you get. The internet is a place where people go to be somebody else. And those who go to be themselves still don't give you the worst parts. I don't put, okay, I'm going to get that. So I don't put like the shittiest parts of my life or a day on the internet. And I'm a fairly transparent, genuine person. I still don't advertise the worst of me, right? I'll tell you about it. I'm pretty, I'll say stuff that, alludes to, that, but most people aren't putting their worst on their Facebook profile. They're putting their best moments, their best days. So I'd never go off a man's profile and just assume that what you see is what you get. Online dating is cool. It's appropriate in the time. It can be done well. But it also has to be done slowly, and you also have to make sure that you date online a little bit longer than you would otherwise date somebody in person before you risk anything. You need to have longer conversations before you move to the phone. You need to just figure out what a person's level of investment is before you assume that this is a budding relationship. A lot of people get a couple of inbox comments and all of a sudden they think they're in a budding relationship or about to date somebody. And it feels like a loss when you've had 5 or 6 back and forths on inbox or in an inbox, and then it doesn't turn into anything. But it's not. You just chit chatted. You were pen pals for a few exchanges, but people really internalize that. So it's important that you date slowly and realize that it takes a lot more online correspondence to build enough of a genuine enough connection that you can start to gauge who a person is. And even then, you can't. You have to FaceTime them. You got to talk to them on the phone. You got to meet them for coffee, have non-sexual interactions with them, and do that sober. I hate when I hear women say, I got drunk on the first date. It pisses me off because it's a bad decision. And if you need to be inebriated in any way to find a man interesting, then you wasted your time. But to your point, if you don't agree with the men in your Mexican culture, I understand. It just means you need to date men much more slowly and vet them much more thoroughly before you commit to anything that's going to cause you to be emotionally invested in them. And then you have to really manage how you think about going on dates and talking to people. It doesn't mean anything until it does. But again, I don't really want to speak to, if you don't agree with me in your Mexican culture. I don't know exactly what you are not agreeing with. And, this is all love over here with everybody. But I understand how you could feel that way for the guys that you're encountering. Just make sure that you're taking your time, but you cannot tell if a guy's crazy just because of his Facebook. You can be anything you want to be on the internet. They used to tell us that as kids. You can grow up, you can be anything you want to be. It's a lie. You can't. I don't have the math skills to be a rocket scientist, right? But I can be a YouTuber, and I could bullshit you if I wanted to. On the internet, you can be anything you want to be, and maybe that's what they meant. Maybe they were giving us a prophetic word when they told us that as kids, that you can be anything you want to be on the internet. And people do, they make up a bunch of shit. Denise Jones, I hope I answered that question. Denise Jones, thank you for sharing your gift of knowledge. I appreciate you. Thank you for sharing your gift of 20 American dollars. Love and respect to you. Chocolate Bunny says a guy is professing his love for me. Who a guy is professing his love for me has offered to take me on trips and give me gifts. I have never kissed him, let alone even given him a hug. What's up with that? He's tricking off. Some of these guys think they can buy a woman's affection, and they do that because women are often impressed by money, gifts, resources of that nature. It's not. It's not a good idea to take things from a man if you're not willing to exchange them for something else. And just because he's not requiring anything of you up front doesn't mean he doesn't want anything on the back end. A guy is only offering you expensive gifts because he hopes to get something of an equal value. A fair exchange for him would be a really great time on one of those trips, a butt ass naked time, probably. Again, he's tricking off. Otherwise, if he could also be a guy who doesn't otherwise know how to connect to women, who doesn't get how to relate to them in a way that doesn't set himself up to be used. I've known men who give gifts because they haven't learned how to deal with women. They don't have good self-esteem. They don't feel valid in who they are, so they think that whatever they can provide is their validation, and they've misunderstood what women want and what women need in large part. Good women anyway. A lot of cheap women would take your gifts, your $5, your $3, and they'll use you until you run out and take the spare change. But for the most part, some of these guys don't know nothing about women and don't know how to relate to them. And other guys are just trying to get you to feel indebted to them, so you can come off, come off the ass for real. And be honest. I hope that helps. Not to be graphic. Somebody said, question: a guy is splitting his time. That was a minute ago, so I don't know. I don't know what you mean by a guy splitting his time. So I would need to get some more information on that if you can find that. Crystal RP. This is approximately enough money to buy 10 honey buns plus tax. I love honey buns. You have no idea. I have a problem. So you shouldn't even have mentioned honey buns. I've been dieting, trying to make sure this Corona body don't make it out of the Corona season, if there is such a season. So I appreciate you and your honey bun money. I won't use it on honey buns like I normally would. I normally eat a honey bun every morning for breakfast with breakfast, but I've been good this month and last month too. So I stopped eating honey buns. I'm proud of myself. I won't eat it, but I will put it. I will put it on the house though. Um, Someone says, oh, they done got me again. Love and respect. Amanda Twisted says, he seemed interested, talking every day, now just once a week. 18-year-old daughter moved in with him, see each other once every week and a half, and hasn't completely disappeared. Let me read that again. I think y'all can read it though. Should I still make an effort? A man is going to see you as much as he wants to see you. And if a man hasn't made you his priority, and he has an 18-year-old daughter, so let's be clear, she's not a baby. She's not like in need of, much of anything outside of, probably some finances and a couple of hours of chit chat time a day, even if that much. 18-year-old girls usually have enough going on that they don't want to talk to their fathers for hours a day. But if she does, he's blessed. He's a blessed man if that is the case. Even so, she's not a baby. She's out with her boyfriend most likely, or doing what she got to do. So he can see you more than he's seeing you now if he wanted to. You're just not a priority. So I don't want you to make up that difference. I wouldn't suggest that you go out of your way to provide yourself to him if he's not, making himself available to you. And he seems to be setting a schedule for you, which means you can't grow with him because emotionally he's holding you in place, and he's setting an expectation of low contact, and infrequent contact. And so, if that's his goal and that's something he's okay with, you have to make peace with it too, and start really separating yourself from the idea that he wants to grow, because he's not growing with you. In fact, he's decreasing your place in his life and your footprint in his life. So start making peace with the next phase. I hope that helps. Um, Somebody said, thank you so much. Silver Rest called me Sil. He has a lot of demons, and one of them uh, likes me a lot. What does that mean? Oh, he said he has a lot of demons, and one of them likes me a lot. What does that mean? I like him a lot. Shaking my head. Okay, so I'm gonna say this slowly for those who didn't get it, and I'm gonna break it down. He says he has a lot of demons, and one of them likes me a lot. What does that mean? I like him a lot. Shaking my head. I'm a little bit afraid for you. Not because I think he's literally demonically possessed. I think what he's telling you is that he, if not double-minded, he's multi-minded, and he doesn't trust himself to treat you well. He has a lot of demons, and one of them likes you a lot. It means he has a lot of vices, and one of the vices is probably a womanizer. And one of the demons who moves him wants to womanize you. And because you like him a lot, he understands that you might let him do that. You're gonna find yourself in an awkward, very painful position if you ignore a man's warnings, no matter how eloquently he states them, no matter how ambiguous they are, no matter how artfully he says a thing like that, he's telling you that he ain't shit. He doesn't have shit to offer, and you will be disappointed in him, and he'll tell you, "Well, I told you so. I told you I had a lot of demons, and one of them liked you." Now he doesn't. Can't control the demon. He does what he wants. The devil makes the cards. Or the devil deals the cards, right? Like he's giving you an out. You need to take the out. Um, uh, yeah, this is not good. Not good at all. He's trying to tell you he ain't shit in the most artful way that he could possibly tell you. Leave that guy alone. First of all, a man saying things like "I have a lot of demons" is a little dark, and it tells me that I would never say a thing like that, because I don't even want to call that energy into my life. I don't know what you got going on spiritually or what you believe in, but I would never call somebody who ushers in darker forces or darker ideas into their life. Um, just like people who speak a lot about death. The power of life and death is in the tongue. And this brother's, even if he's trying to be cute, talking about he has a lot of demons, I don't think that should be taken lightly, because he's a person who doesn't understand the power of his words. While he wants to be artful in expressing himself to you, he doesn't understand the gravity of what he's saying and what he's calling into his life. Now, again, I'm no holy roly, but I'm a man of a spirit and a belief and faith. And I think that the words that a man chooses are as important as his actions sometimes. And actions speak louder than words. But if a man chooses odd words and odd pairs, you need to take note of that, because he's trying to tell you something. And sometimes his inner demons are speaking for him. And there's a point in the Bible where a guy, demons speak from a guy. He says, our name is Legion, for we are many, or my name is Legion, for we are many. And the demons were speaking from inside of the guy. And whether or not you believe it or not, there are spiritual forces that we have no idea about. There are forces that we cannot control and that are not explained by science. I think that his forces are getting in his mouth and actually speaking for him. If he's claiming demons, claiming to be Legion, you need to get the hell away from that guy. He's a little dark, sadistic, and twisted. I don't know. I just spiritually that disturbs me. Not to get all holy roly, love and respect to whoever. Gina Girelli, love and respect. That's a cool name. She said, fiance is wonderful, says and shows me he loves me. I'm 7 years older and can't get over insecurity about that. Am I justified for worrying about the age difference? In this case, no. I do have a age difference video coming out. Actually, I do. So people like I always ask that question. You never answer. I'll be talking about age difference here very soon. I got a video coming out. To all that to say, your age difference is only 7 years. So no, you shouldn't be worried about that. That's um, yes, you are aging 7 years in front of him, and I don't think any of us are enjoying the aging process. Hell, I was mad that I was 14. I missed being 11 when I was 14. I missed being 17 when I was 20. You could do that all day, but 7 years is not a very big gap. So you have a lot more in common than some of the people I know who have 14, 15, and 20-year gaps. 7 years is just it's just not enough time that I will worry about that. In fact, you in 7 years, your aging process isn't even that much more dramatic than his would be. So I wouldn't even again, I wouldn't worry about that as long as you keep yourself up and you feel good about the package that you bring. You feel good about your body, your level of fitness, and what you offer the relationship. That's all that you need to worry about. Your insecurity will kill that relationship quicker than your 7 years difference or any aging that you think is going to happen quickly enough. Your insecurity will stump that fire out a lot quicker than whatever you think is happening to you in age. 7 years is just not a lot of time, so don't worry about that. Beth Solo, 999, no question, just love. I appreciate you. And if you do have a question, send it to Pretty Girl. She will get to me. She'll text me and we'll get to the question. I'm going to try to rush one of these. I honestly just hope somebody wants to smash at this point, so I'll let them do their thing. I'm just reading. Disregard. What does it mean? JB is always a lady says, what does it mean when your boyfriend leaves after sex and you've been with the person for 2 years? I suppose it matters a lot more if he comes back before sex. If he's spending any non-sexual time with you at all, or is he just getting his sexual fill and then leaving? If you can't get your boyfriend to spend time with you outside of sex, then that's not your man anymore. But if he's hanging out with you for hours and then leaving after sex, well, that could be problematic and irritating and concerning. It's not as bad as if you can't get any non-sexual time. So I just want you to start paying attention about paying attention to whether or not you're spending any time with him outside of sex, or is it just after sex that you need that time that maybe satiates you emotionally that you would hope to have that he's not giving you. If you're not getting no non-sexual time, then there's a problem. There's a serious problem, and he's not your man anymore if that's the case. Beth Solo, love and respect. She another super chat, and maybe she meant to say this the first time, or maybe not. She says, my boyfriend lied about his age, and I feel that I'm always discovering something else that he lies about. She says, I confronted him and he downplays it. We've been dating a year and I've never met his family. Should I be worried? Well, yes, you have a liar, and you also don't necessarily know anybody important to him. Now, with the family thing, a lot of women get very nervous about not meeting a guy's family. Everybody doesn't have a family that they either give a damn about, respect well enough to care to introduce those two worlds together, or have, or like, are closely knit enough. Some people have disruptive, destructive, dysfunctional families. I guess it just depends on the type of family environment he had. You might come from a family where meeting the spouse or the partner or the boyfriend or girlfriend is important because you all love each other and you watch out for each other and you want to know who's entering their life. Other people have family members that they don't tell shit to. They don't even respect them. Like people with a lot of addiction in their family. I'm gonna be honest, I love people in my family, but we had some screwed up people in my family from time to time, and I wouldn't have wanted certain people to meet certain people in my family. So, I love most of my family, but I could understand why a man who might have a family that's dysfunctional or just doesn't have that same respect and reverence for each other, doesn't care to make his girlfriend meet his family. It doesn't mean anything. He doesn't need their approval. He's not seeking it because maybe he doesn't approve of them. The level of respect is different from family to family. I'd just be glad that family means something to you. And ask him about why, maybe that doesn't mean as much to him. And if his family is really close to him and he's kept you away, then that's a problem. That might be something that I will worry about. But even then, again, I've never felt the need to cross worlds. I have best friends that don't know each other. I've connections that never really cross paths because I'm really not interested in it. But if you live with your spouse and you haven't met their family, that's problematic. But if you don't live with them, then just not being in the same place at the same time with his family is just not a big deal. I hope that helps. But that lying shit, he needs to get that together. And you need to figure out how many lies are too many lies. And I can't tell you because I don't know what he's lying about. But dishonesty is a problem for me. And it should be a problem for most people. Lena, love and respect. Thank you for the $5 super chat. She says, "Why is it when some of these men message me on these dating sites and I message back, they decide not to respond?" Oh, because they were probably messaging a lot of women at the time. Yeah, I noticed I didn't shave today. I just said bucket. But anyway, yeah, when men message you and then they don't respond, it's because they got a bite. It's like a fisherman. A fisherman throws a. Y'all know I don't know how to fish, so yeah, we're gonna skip all that. But a fisherman is trying to catch one fish. You can't catch two fish at a time. You get one fish. Um, you got to throw the line back in. And if a guy messages like say 10 women, which is very easy to do in a night if you're surfing the internet for girls, women. When I was on the internet surfing on MySpace, and it was a while ago, but MySpace, I could easily message 12 women in a desperate, thirsty night. Either lonely at their apartment, like, damn, I wish I had somebody to talk to. Put your zip code in or your area code and go to town. And the ones that responded that you were really excited about, you talked to. The ones that responded that you would have otherwise made a second or third choice. Unfortunately, you don't respond to. People like what they like. They have their own styles and their own types. Don't take it personal. They don't know what they're missing on. They don't know what they're missing out on or what they're passing up on. They don't know the value that you could provide them. So they're not rejecting you with full knowledge of who you are, and so you try not to take it personally or be affected by it because these are people who are ignorant about what you possess and what you offer. Um, Mari Rose, can you please discuss Bumble? It seems men want women to do all the work. If they swipe and we are compatible, why does the conversation not go anywhere? Advice. Well, I think if I believe so, Bumble is a website where the women have to come up. The women had to do contact the guy first or swipe first. Like the women have to make the first move. I don't like Bumble for that reason. Every time a client to me, a client of mine talks about Bumble, I'm always like, because it's annoying that it's annoying to me that somebody would have to do that much work for somebody to just talk to them on the internet, especially a woman who should also be the receiver of that attention, not necessarily the first giver. Men can always be trusted with that information that a woman wants them or is attracted to them. So anyway, as far as that Bumble stuff, I think that it's really important that if a guy is not creating the contact, then he must definitely be forwarding the contact and growing the contact and stretching it and extending it. And if he's not, then you just try to talk to a guy who had limited interest. So it's like if when I was younger, I would approach a girl at the mall and maybe she didn't tell me no or lie about having a boyfriend, but she just be like, oh, it's cool, like be low energy, low enthusiasm, waiting for me to stop. That's kind of what Bumble's doing. Like, is those guys are either waiting for you to stop or they're talking to other women that they're more enthused about. Don't take it personal. These people are strangers. They're picking profile pictures and avatars. They're not picking real people, and they're not rejecting real people. They're rejecting profile pictures and avatars, just like you guys do. So If I was you, I'd get off of Bumble and get on a website where the guys have the opportunity to do some work. Brooklyn, NYC. She said, I have a 5-year long distance relationship. He wants me to leave the U.S. and move with him. He's upset because I have not given him children. Help. Okay, you that went in two different directions. It doesn't sound like you want to leave, so that could be problematic. You in a 5-year long distance relationship, and he wants you to move and leave the U.S. You didn't say you want to move and leave the U.S. You said he wanted you to. Something tells me that you have some trepidation about that, and then you say he's upset that you have not given him children. Again, it does not sound like you want children, and you need help. And you put that in capital letters, which tells me that you are either extremely anxious about this, or you are not happy and you don't know how to get out. Um, Either way, you're supposed to be making sure that the life you live first belongs to you, and then someone else that you share your life with, and give them that right to. You might have chosen the wrong person to share your life with if you don't have the same goals, dreams, and ambitions about what should come of it. If he wants kids and you don't want kids, that's problematic. If you don't know if you want his kids, that's problematic. If you don't want to move and he lives outside of the United States, and you don't want to give up your American rights, that's problematic. Y'all might need to have a tough conversation about the real potential of your relationship instead of the hope that your relationship can be what you once hoped it could be, because it looks like that potential is dwindling and fading away, and you don't know how to tell him. Um, Otherwise, you wouldn't need help. You just be like, I want to have kids with my boyfriend, so I'm moving out of the U.S. But you didn't say that. You said he wants kids, he wants you to move, which means you are just receiving this relationship and potentially with somebody who understands that they can have some control over you. You might have an issue with boundaries. It sounds like you're not speaking up for yourself. I prefer that you do whatever it is that you would do naturally, whether or not he was pressuring you or not. And whatever that is, do it now, do it quickly. And if that means leave him, then leave him. Uh, Somebody said, thanks, Kev. She said, thanks, Kev. What's good dating sites besides Bumble and Tinder do you recommend? I don't really know. The only dating sites I've really been exposed to are some of the paid profiles that people some of the paid profiles that people send me. Some of those are pretty cool because you can ask a lot of personal questions. Um, Caramelized Sugar says, I wrote you on IGDM. Please check message request, please. Um, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know what where you wrote me unless your name is Caramelized Sugar on Instagram as well. I wouldn't know how to find it because I get about 100 emails and IG messages a week. Um, so you might have to give me a different give me another sign. I would love to respond to you or read your question if you want it read here, but I wouldn't know how to respond because I have a I have 99 plus message requests right now. So I need to figure that out. What was I going to say? Oh, so for those of you who are in the chat room right now, in large part, I'm not doing free DMs. Yes, Caramelized Sugar. I don't have. So, did you just write me on Instagram? My Instagram DM. I can try to find it. But for most of you, she super chat me, so I'm gonna show some love. Oh, bet on. Hi, Caramelized Sugar. Your Q&A. I just got you. Bet on. Okay. I don't think you said. I don't think you didn't write me a question yet. So I'm accepting this, and then I guess you can write me your question if you want me to say it in the chat box. But so like I said, for the most part, she just super chat me, so I'm gonna look out definitely. But and I'm gonna look out for whoever in here that I can too. But on Instagram, it's not a good time to get me right now because I have 99 plus requests. I don't know how many hundreds they allow you to have, but I have a lot. I also, because I'm doing my book and I've been doing consultations and I do paid email advice. I have a Wise Sisterhood, and those people get to talk to me on Facebook anytime they want. A lot of them don't use it, but Wise Sisterhood, okay, okay, but Okay, Carmelas. I don't know. Is that it? I think I just lost it again. I got it. Um, like I said, I got a lot of people writing me, and I'm doing a lot of business. If you want to get your email responded to, you have to go through my website. I know a lot of people just shooting a shot and hoping they can get in, and that's cool. But if it's urgent to you, you have to go through the website because I otherwise probably won't even get to it because I have over 100 messages just in waiting, and that's just Instagram. That's not the 100 messages I get in Gmail across 3 email accounts, or the 20 or 30 I might get on Facebook a week. Like I'm getting a lot of messages. It's not enough of me. So it's important. If it's important for you to get your message responded to, you absolutely have to go through the website, or you have to order a consultation. I'm starting after this weekend. I will be starting FaceTimes, and FaceTimes will be more expensive because I have to be propped up. I have to put clothes on. I can't just talk on the phone comfortably. I have to, prepare and shit. So FaceTimes will be more expensive, but I'm starting to do FaceTime. I do email advice. If you want that, you can go through my website. Otherwise, you're just rolling the dice and you might not get anything right now because I just have so many things on my plate. Lynn, our boyfriend didn't text me in 3 days when we talk. Um, he gives me dry convo. I never initiate. He says communication goes both ways. He gives me short, dead replies. I think he's a little bit disgusted that he feels like maybe he's doing all the work. And so try to match his effort, whatever that effort is. If you match his effort and he increases, then you know that that was the problem. If you match his effort and he's still giving you dry convo, then it wasn't your effort at all. He's just losing the enthusiasm for the relationship. So if you're not trying and you never initiate, that is very frustrating for a guy who wants to be liked and wants to be cared about too. So try to match his energy. And if that doesn't help, then it was never about that. Success bug. What's a better way to give to you? Great question. She said, "What's a better way to give to you?" Uh, I heard YouTube only gives 75% of PayPal, Cash App. Uh, I heard YouTube only gives 75%. So PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo. What's the best way to give to me? Honestly, Cash App is the best way to give to me because of it's harder to tax. So Cash App is my number one favorite. If you want to give to me, that is $ Kev Hick, just like that, $KEVHICK. If you want to give to me, you want to support the channel, or you want to put it on the house, like I've been calling it, because I'm trying to buy a bigger house so I can set up a bigger YouTube studio and a bigger podcast studio and actually give you guys more content because I'm preparing to leave my job and do this full time. So I have to have some things in place. I have to have a bigger house with more stuff. But if you want to give to me for equipment, I need some more equipment. If you want to give to me at all, you can give to me on PayPal, on Cash App, or on Venmo. Um, or you can go to my website and it's a donation box right on my website that you can just do a manual pay or donation. You can give to my Cash App with $Kev Hick at any time and donate whatever you want, and it's all appreciated and it all helps my family. It allows me to do this because again we can satiate our needs and things of that nature. So it really does help the channel. It keeps it flowing because if this wasn't lucrative enough for me, if it didn't help me and it took away from my family's time, but it didn't help them, I would have to then go give my time to something that brought money into the house, right? Because I'm a man and I have responsibilities. I have 2 kids and a wife to take care of. So I'm really excited that I can do this and it brings money into the house and it helps. And I'm also doing what I love to do, which is help people. But if you want to help that mission or that cause, you can also join my Patreon. I have you can give $1 or $2 a month or $5 a month on Patreon. That's www.patreon.com/Kev Hick. And Pretty Girl probably put that in the comment section at some point if she's still in here. And you can donate monthly $1 to however many dollars you would like to donate to the cause. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, and Patreon, all the ways. So to answer your question, that's the question. I think I can. Pretty Girl will probably at some point put those links in here if she hasn't already. Somebody said, "Do you have a single brother?" No, my brothers are all taken. Um, Sorry about that. Yeah, they got stuff going on. Um, Let me see. Love and respect. She said, "Put it on the house." Crystal Brooks sent me $100 for the house. I appreciate you. I do, and it's going on the house. I need a YouTube studio. I need an office. I want to start doing office videos where we just have discussions. I need to talk to clients. I need, like, it's a lot of stuff that I need to do to really branch out and build this into a whole life, where I can dedicate more time and then get back to answering free emails and giving back and paying it forward. I need a different facility. We bought this house as an investment. I was not a YouTuber when I bought this house, so it is not built for YouTube. It's not set up for YouTube, right? I'd be in the random bedrooms, random. I, I used to do lives in my dining room. Now I'd be in a bedroom here, a bedroom there. I'd be all over the place trying to get these lives done and trying to just get y'all some games. So I'm excited to have the facilities and the studios in my house to really do this, so I can drop that job and motivate you guys on a full-time basis. Um, yeah. So somebody, True Essence, said, Kev, you need to make a dating app for us. Actually, that's on the list. That's on the later part of the list, but I actually do have something in the works, or an idea, very intricately drawn out about a dating app that would help curve some of the issues that the women I talk to are facing with low effort men and men who aren't worth the trouble. I have a very interesting idea about how to match people up in the right way. So I'm happy about that. Somebody said, is it realistic for a female and male to be mutual friends without being sexual and causing sexual frustrations? Yeah, it's realistic. It's not common, but it's realistic. I've had friends that I've never screwed or did anything with. Hell, my job is to talk to women for a living. I literally talk to thousands of women a year, and many of those women, are attracted, but most of them are calling me about, or talking to me about another gentleman. It's extremely important that we understand that that is legitimate and it's realistic. I couldn't talk to women if it was impossible for men and women to communicate with each other without wanting to jump each other's bones, right? I have clients I've talked to for 2 years. I have a client I talked to for 3 years. I've been talking to women every day. If it was not possible for men to talk to women and not be frustrated or aroused or want more, then I couldn't do this for a living. And I help women for a living, and I haven't screwed any of my subscribers or anyone else, not my wife for that matter. So it's possible. Um, okay, I think caramelized sugar might have finally sent her. Uh, might have finally sent her question. Um, Afrocentric Anatomy TV. Blessing to you, brother, and you're doing good. I appreciate that. I can't tell from the thumbnail if you're male or female, but it's a beautiful scenery, and that serenity in that picture is what I'm getting from you, and I appreciate you, and blessings to you and your family as well. Um, let me see. Let me see. Make sure ain't nobody. Okay, so okay, she said this isn't for YouTube Live. Cool. I'll read that later. Then I'm gonna get with you, caramelized sugar. I just wanted to make sure I was showing you love. Um, let me see. Somebody said BLAK is supposed to be dating. Okay, somebody said BLK is supposed to be a dating app for black singles, but anybody be on there. It must be like Black Planet. Black Planet used to be like that. Black Planet was supposed to be a black dating website, but I'd be on there, and it was a little bit of everybody was on Black Planet at the time. That's back in 2002. I was on Black Planet hard. Um, uh, Black Planet is funny. Brought me back. I'm gonna go up here and get some of these older questions I missed, and then jump down. Um, some of y'all having great conversations with each other, so I'm gonna just stay out y'all way. Why can't men just speak their mind? Okay, so this was a while ago. I don't know. Ann Brownie might not be in the room. Why can't men just speak their mind and stop ignoring you? Stop ignoring when you call, then call back a day or two after. Um, those men aren't interested, so they're not going to do anything. They're not going to speak their mind, and they're not going to stop ignoring you. They ignore you because they're just not interested. And it's harder to say, I'm not interested. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want you in my life. You're not my type. There's no interest here. You have no chance. That's very difficult to say to somebody, but sometimes it's true. And so, and it's also very difficult to say, hey, I'm just using you for sex and resources. And as long as I call you back every 3 or 4 days, you keep screwing me, you know, I don't see you as human. I see you as a whole to stick it in. Like, that's hard to say. People won't do that because they're conflict avoidant, but sometimes that's the truth. So, to your question of why can't men speak their mind and stop ignoring when you call and call back a day or two later, it's just that they don't care about you and you need to stop calling them. I had a rule when I was dating. If I called you or talked to you or text you or I called you twice in a row, it could be one call and one text. It could be two texts. It could be two calls. But if I called you or I tried to talk to you twice, I contacted you twice and you didn't respond, you would never hear from my ass again. My black ass was done. Yeah, you'd have to call me a few times before I pretended to know who you were, or stop pretending to not know who you were. I'd answer the phone like, "New phone, who this?" Like, in fact, if you didn't call me 2 days within my two correspondence, I would literally delete your number. So I would literally be like, "Who this?" Because nobody remembers numbers. Oh, we had speed dialer for a long time now, so my generation didn't remember numbers either. So yeah, it'd be new phone. Who this? Sounds familiar. What's your last name? I know a couple cats. Like, I would go through that. So never let nobody just play you like that. If somebody's ignoring you, leave them people alone, man. Go get you somebody who gives you, values you. Antoinette S, love you and respect. Thank you so much for the $50 super chat. I'm telling y'all, y'all think I'm playing. It's going on in the house. It is. It's the YouTube. My YouTube stuff is going right to the house. I'm serious about getting this YouTube studio and building this office. I can't do it here. I wanted to build an office here in my basement, but this house is just not conducive to that. I didn't buy this house with studios and YouTube and pretty basements in mind. I bought it for an investment, and I'm gonna flip it, but it's gonna be a minute before I have the facilities in this house, and I don't even want to put them here. I just want to get another house. So I'm so thankful for anybody donating, for whatever, whether you appreciate my advice or whatever. I appreciate you. Antoinette says, blessings and good vibes to you and your family and the new house. Yeah, I believe it's coming. And I've been fiscally responsible too, so it should be coming. Um, I need advice on how to move on from failing um, I don't know what the hell wrong with me tonight. I need some sleep. She said, I need advice on how to remove on from falling for a best friend. We both took care of each other, but he doesn't want to risk the friendship, which I understand, but it is hard for me. Um, I suppose that my advice on this is it depends very greatly on how deeply you're affected by this. Some people, when they fall in love, they are they're not functional, like they're immobilized by love. And if it's destroying you in a way that some people have been destroyed, if it's slowly killing you, then it's probably best that you be friends from a distance. When you're really friends with somebody and it sounds like you're really friends with this person, like, you can have a break. Like, you can have a friend that you don't talk to every day, that you actually take a couple of months from, and you still love each other, and it's like instant. As soon as you get back with each other, it's like you never left, you never skipped a beat. But you need some time, potentially, if you're being affected negatively by your feelings being and your hopes being unrealized and your dream being deferred. If you're being negatively affected, it's important that you get some time away to get around new energy and to have new thought patterns and stop filling your days with ideas about this person. It's toxic you'll fall into a dark pit of despair and hope and sadness, because they're so close yet so far away. I've been there. It's not a good place. You literally have to create some space and then come back when you're a little bit stronger and you have a lot more going on. Don't just give yourself busy work. Fill that space with a new skill, a new talent, a new hobby, something that requires you to focus, and then get around some new masculine energy, so that it's not the only thing that you remember about men, and it doesn't become the representative of men, but it just becomes representative of the one energy that he possesses. Okay, I hope that helps. If not, inbox me. Crystal P, why does he talk to me every day for over a year and still wants to be friends? Texts and calls every day and requests to see me, but doesn't want sex. Well, because you're in the friend zone. You're in the friend zone, and it sounds like you're going to be in the friend zone. It sounds like he chose you for the friend zone, and somehow or another you don't tempt him enough. And while yours is kind of, are you the same person? Oh no. While yours is kind of related, you know, a guy not wanting to risk the friendship is, is powerful because he values you and he cares about you, but you also likely never get past that point because he's telling you that he's going to disappoint you and he doesn't want to risk the friendship because he doesn't believe he's going to stay with you. So you got to respect that and accept that truth. Denise D says, um, my girl cheated. My girl's ex cheated on me. My the girls, my ex cheated on me with knew about me. The girls my ex forgive me. The girls my ex cheated on me with knew about me. Now 8 years later, I still don't like or trust women when I know it's wrong. How to change the feeling this way? If you don't like or trust women and you see them as competition, you'll always see them that way until you find a man that you can trust. Problem is you don't trust them clearly, but you're not supposed to trust strangers around your spouse. You're supposed to be able to trust your spouse. And the problem is you haven't found a man you can trust yet. So every woman appears to be an enemy or an op or a threat to your relationship. That's very unfortunate, extremely unfortunate. But you have to date men that you can trust that build that confidence in you. And you also have to learn to be quite honest, let some things go. Um, I don't know how to get you through that though. I think there are certain counselors that might be gifted enough to help people release some of their burdens and the traumas that they've had. I don't claim to be an expert at everything, but I know that you're not past what you've been through. You're still trying to reconcile your trauma with your current realities, and it's starting to look like they're blending together for you. They're not two separate things. They're one and the same, and you start to treat everything like it's all the same. There's a saying I always use that it's a quote from somewhere. When you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And in this way, you've become a hammer, and every woman looks like a nail, and you see her as a threat. But what the real problem is that you're not choosing men that reinstill that courage and that confidence in you. So that will be something I focus on is getting a man that I can trust a little bit more than the men you've already had and trusted less. Um, don't worry so much about women. I don't trust men. My wife walked down the street. I don't trust men not to be rapers, not to be murderers, not to be sex traffickers. So that's not a thing that I can tell you to do is trust people because I don't trust people. And I'm always on alert. I'm always on guard. I'm always war ready. And I think that there's a strength to it, but there's also a weakness because it can be a little bit debilitating at times and immobilizing and disempowering if you let it take you over. So yeah, everything in balance, right? Balance is key, but get you a better man. That way you don't have to worry about it. And that might mean dating guys that might not traditionally be your style or type, but it's important that you can trust your man. That's the problem, not these women. These women are everywhere. Um, All hell J, love and respect to you. Thank you for the $10 super chat. She says, I'm going out with a man who is 13 years older than me, and I'm a little scared I'm going to come off as immature because we're in two different places in life. Any advice? No. You got to be everything you are. And if you are in two different places in life, then that just means y'all not supposed to be together anyway. We run from the truth. We avoid it, and we avoid judgment and all these things that seem adversarial to our growth. But sometimes when we're missing opportunity, it's not because somehow or another we won't be ready or not or won't be good enough or aren't good enough. Is that we need to grow into the type of person who can handle that challenge or that level of even financially. Like people grow financially. Everybody wants $1 million right now, but we all have to grow into a place where we know how to manage $1 million. You might not be enough for a man 13 years older than you, or you may be, but you won't know if you don't present your genuine self and you try to play a role of a more mature woman. And plus, you'll see right through it. So just be everything you are. And if that's not good enough, then you're not meant to be. But don't worry about being judged in that way, and don't worry about missing the opportunity if the opportunity is not good for you. I don't want what I got for me. I want what God has for me. And so it's important for me to just to 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 be everything I am. I'd rather be hated for what I am than loved for what I am not. Um, and you should take that same idea into your relationship. Stacy Patterson, are there any men that date women with children? If so, why do I keep running across men who don't? I guess that depends on how many children and the woman. Like we have to be honest about, and I don't assume anything of you, but like women with 3 or 4 young children that still need nurturing and still are mouths to feed. That's 3 or 4 liabilities. That's 3 or 4 people eating off of a man's check. That is 3 or 4 people taking the energy away from his relationship. Like that matters to men. We also have to be very honest about what men like. If you have kids, then you have to increase your sexual market value and you have to increase your romantic market value by having a lot of other things together. A lot of women I know, and again, I don't assume anything of you, but this just reminds me of stuff I come across daily. I meet women who to be quite honest, and again, I love there's some beautiful big women, but we can't assume everybody's big and beautiful. Like we're gonna be real, right? Some women aren't taking care of themselves, and then they have poor attitudes, and these women exist. So let's not act like we don't know. These fucking women exist. Some women aren't taking care of themselves, and they have poor attitudes. They're very difficult to be around, and then they have kids. Like you can't have it all. You have to pick a struggle. So if you have children, understand that he sees that as a struggle because he has to fall in love with those kids and he has to take care of those kids and they become liabilities if you are not financially independent. That's when financial independence matters most. To the question of earlier, do men care about financial independence? They do if you have a lot of kids and they need to eat, right? And people things need to be paid for. So as long as you can afford to pay for your kids and take care of your kids and your kids are otherwise well behaved and there's no crazy ex baby daddy and you seem to be a balanced person anyway and you don't seem to be traumatized and have a lot of baggage, then men will date you. There are a lot of men who date women with children. I know because my mom had kids and she never had an issue finding a man. We always had, I mean, not always. My mom wasn't whoring, but there was a boyfriend. And my mama had a man. She didn't have a problem getting a man. So I know guys are dating women with kids, and we were some big ass kids. I was taller than some of my mama's boyfriend, so it wasn't even convenient to have a kid that could kick your ass around, and she still had kids. And my older brothers would have killed somebody, so like she had dangerous kids, gangsters and shit. So yes, men date women with kids, but you have to make sure. To your question, you just have to make sure that you provide most of everything else that a man would hope to have from a relationship. You have to make sure that you are you are in shape. You have to make sure that you present yourself well. Your style's on point. You take care of your kids well. They are well enough behaved. You have to make sure that you don't have a lot of emotional trauma and baggage that would take away from the opportunity. Again, of course, you shouldn't have to be perfect. A man should, accept you for you are, all of that. But you're talking about a family. So a man is not just dating you. A man is really acquiring a family when he date a woman with kids. So you're only going to really deal with the guys who are more serious about having a family and who value that family dynamic. So you need a greater man than most women who can do without a greater man. I hope that answers your question. But yes, men do date women with kids. I know because I was a kid who had mamas with boyfriends. To the woman with the demon message, be careful. I date a person who was into spiritual work, very manipulative, abusive, and scary. Listen to your gut and stay safe. Spiritual forces are real. Sweet Amber, you are absolutely right. That woman who said that, the girl who said, the dude said, I have a lot of demons and one of them is really into you. That brother has some issues because very few men would word their description as that, like that. Excuse me. So that is a problem. And thank you, Sweet Amber, for dropping the super chat just to let that sister know that there's a problem with that. She should probably not go that way. Let me see. Both for okay. So I'm gonna answer this one first. Sabrina just gave $10, no question, just love. I appreciate your super chat. Thank you so much. Success Bug. I'm Crystal Brooks. Need advice to end 27-year friends with benefits relationship. Whoa. 27 years friends with benefits relationship. I'm glad it's a $50 super chat because it might take me a minute unless a bunch of fives come up. Okay. 27 years friends with benefits situationship or friendship relationship. Like, if she can do that for 27 years, imagine how long a lot of y'all are going to be strung along if you don't put your boundaries and walls up. Now, I'm assuming she agreed to that for the duration, but some of y'all are in the same situation and haven't even agreed to it. You're waiting for a real relationship, and it will never come. So just keep that in mind, that things happen long term sometimes. And if you're not requiring anything, a man will long term play with your life. To your point again, need advice to end 27 years friend with benefit situation or relationship. We've gotten together for fun in between relationships. Um, Lately, we spent a lot of serious time together to see if we could be more, but I'm realizing he's too immature for me. I don't want to hurt him. You're going to hurt him. You've been dealing with it for 27 years. You would have hurt him in year 3. Uh, this is not an avoidable thing at this point. You're going to hurt him. He's going to be disappointed. Um, but you've also stopped dealing with each other probably several times in all of the years that you've been talking and dealing with each other. You've probably been through a separation of sorts several times. Because of that, I don't think that you should worry so much. I think he's been without you before. You walked out of his life before. He's probably used to it at this point, and something tells me that he was a little bit disappointed when you walked out of his life because you found somebody and not the other way around. Something also tells me that if he's been around for 27 years, at some point he's always wanted more. Um, Maybe you're the one that got away from him, but you don't owe nobody your life. So you don't necessarily need advice outside of just do it. You don't owe nobody your life. It's going to hurt him regardless. It's going to hurt you regardless. But I would rip the Band-Aid off and quit wasting my time. I wouldn't want my time wasted if I was him. Right? I would much rather just know so I could move on and find somebody. Doesn't sound like, anybody got time to waste. If you've been in friends with benefits for 27 years and you were an age of sexual maturity at, people start at 16, 15, 17, 18. It's not like your youth is here to stick around and frolic. You got some limited time to enjoy the rest of your great years, and then start settling down. You need to be on the mission to either find that person or do your own thing, but don't waste any more of his time, because it would just be a tragedy for him to sit and think that there's more potential than it is for any longer than he has. I think I have to get off of here at 45 to 55 after, because we got some spring cleaning to do after I get off this after I get off this computer, because I'm getting this house cleared out. I'm gonna get my shit packed up. I ain't even picked a house yet or bought a house yet, and I want to wait a few months, but up to 6 months, like we just want to save. But I'm getting my house packed up like I got somewhere to be. That's how serious I am about getting out of this house, because it's just too small. It doesn't have enough facilities for what I'm doing now and all of the things that I need. Miss Queen Sheba, love and respect to you. A $10 super chat. She says, I like my friend. We flirt. Talked about being together, having a family, marriage, but COVID happened. Stopped us from meeting up. He's in medical school now. How do I help us get on the same dating level? Everybody I know who's talking to a guy in medical school is having a lot of time trying to figure out how to get to a dating level, or any kind of level for that matter. So if he was committed before, I'm glad that you found somebody that was committed to it, and hopefully you can keep that up. But it sounds like he's for some reason or another backed up, because otherwise you would still feel like you were connected to him. It's very difficult to connect to people in medical school. They're so busy, they're so overworked and overwhelmed that it might be damn, I'm blurry. Yo, I didn't realize I was that damn blurry. Good gracious. I'm in 240p. Man, I need a new computer. Maybe I do need a new computer. I've been holding off, but damn it, I'm looking crazy in here. Anyway, I'm sorry. The guys in medical school, The only way that you maintain your level is if he prioritizes your relationship or friendship. If he can't prioritize it, there's no way that you can compensate for that difference. He needs to make it a priority and make it important enough to get to and do every day. Otherwise, medical school will take over, and it looks like it may begun to. But that's not your responsibility. It's his to make sure he makes time for you. And it's not a man's responsibility. It's really serious. Like medical school is just different. I haven't met a woman who dated a guy in medical school who wasn't having a similar issue. And the guys who are committed, they do it. But the guys who are committed to medical school and not as interested in as maybe they said they were, that's what they do. They're disappointed, to be quite honest. Mario Kirby, $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Oh, no question. I appreciate you. Thank you. Denise, I'm sorry. Look at me. Denise D back again. She says, seeing other women as competition is draining and causing low self-esteem for me. I'm tired of feeling like I'm not good enough. Okay, so you got into the crux of it. You're not seeing low. You're not. Maybe this is a different question. I don't even know who I've answered and who asked what question. So let me just answer this. She says, seeing other women as competition is draining and causing low self-esteem for me. I'm tired of feeling like I'm not good enough. Well, the way that you feel better is to first do things that you're proud of, be a person that you're proud of. Every day, commit to decisions that make you proud of who you are. Do the things that make you proud. If you have any issue with your image that are within your control, in the absence of plastic surgery for the most part, do those things that make you feel better about yourself. If you have a fitness goal, you want to build more muscle, you want to lose more fat, go attack that. You have to, people want better self-esteem, and this is not to you specifically, but I want to say something. People, like the lion. Y'all see the lion? Yeah, I love the lion. People hang that in my office when I get in my house. People want self-esteem. They want the result of self-esteem. They want the good feeling. They want the higher self-concept. They want the feeling of self-esteem. But what people don't realize is that self-esteem, it takes a lot of discipline. Self-esteem isn't something that you are just gifted. Self-esteem is the result of discipline. It's the result of committing every day to be the person that you wish you were. Right? From the things that are vanity driven, looking like you want to look, that increases your self-esteem. But acting like you want to act, that would increase your self-esteem. Being the best version of yourself, seeing yourself win those small battles that you would normally had lost, that increases your self-esteem. Conquering goals, conquering issues within yourself, evolving as a person, that increases your self-esteem. Dating better, dating smarter, taking less shit from people, that increases your self-esteem. Feeling like women are your competition is draining and is causing low self-esteem because in comparison to those other women, you are losing those mental battles, right? That's like, and love and respect to short guys, but that's like when them tiny guys have Napoleon syndrome. And you say, damn, he's a little asshole. Why is he so mean to be so little? Uh, that's what people say. I don't say that. I love and respect everybody. I don't talk shit about people to come tall and fit because they shorter and not. But I'm just saying, it's called Napoleon syndrome for a very good reason. People who compare themselves to others unfavorably often are tired and just exhausted and have low self-esteem and a little bit unhappy and kind of their attitudes stink a little bit. You got to stop comparing yourself to people, and in the ways that you can help yourself compare better for your own sake, you need to start competing better. Seeing women as competition and not competing, failing to compete, is a whole nother idea than seeing women as competition and feeling like you stack up, you measure up, you have something else to offer. What you offer is of equal to a greater value. So that's one of the things that's one of the things that you have to do. And I have a $2 super chat here that I want to make sure I don't forget to. I just noticed. But make sure that you are the person you wish you were. And if you are not, then your self-esteem is going to be low. But again, self-esteem is a result of discipline. So have more discipline. I would ask you to have more discipline in doing the things that you wish you were doing, being the person you wish you were, having the body you wish you had. If that's a problem at all, you might love your body. I don't know. I don't know nothing. All I know is the closer you get to the image of yourself that you hope for, the less somebody else having a nice ass means to you, the less another woman having, being a better comedian or jokester or singer, or having bigger, more full lips, or milkier skin, or longer hair, or more money or more style, whatever you would compare yourself to a woman. Those things matter a lot less when you feel your best. So I would just argue that you compete a little stronger and harder, and then once you get to that place, you ultimately have to come to a place where you just appreciate what you are. And that's a process for all of us. I used to think that, other guys had better bodies than me. When I was younger, I was real bony, I was real skinny. And I'm still like long, and, I'm real long, but I'm muscular. I have a physique, right? But when I was younger, I used to be like, oh man, those thicker guys, man, they got the physique I wish I had. I wish I was built like that instead of the string bean. I used to look like Snoop Dogg. I had braids. I was real skinny and wiry until I started working out. And when I was 16, and I'm still skinny and wiry. If I stopped working out for about 2 months, I get right back to it. But I say all that to say that, as a person who's had body image issues before, never confidence issues, but just body image issues, a crush of mine put her finger around my bicep and was like, oh, you're so skinny. Fucked me up for a couple of years. I've been lifting weights since that day. Ain't nobody ever did that shit again. But I can tell you, comparing myself to other men and losing those battles is what made me feel lower and smaller. When I started to improve myself, I felt more like a competitor, more like I was a formidable opponent. So for you, I think that you just need to be more impressed with yourself, and that goes for anybody who's having low self-esteem issues. I know that's a long answer, but I think she needed that. Crystal P, love and respect, says, remain friends or move on. I like them. Oh, because from your question before, if you like them, you can remain friends and move on. But if you can't do both, and you have no chance at being in a relationship, and you're hurting by it, and it's causing you stress hormones, it's causing you, defeat, it's causing you the feeling of loneliness, then you need to move on. At least date around so that you're taking in other masculine energy. Don't just be his friend and hope for the best. Date around so that if it's possible, some other guy can distract you away from what you're feeling from him if you don't have a chance. Um, what about those guys that throw other females in your face? Never talk to them again. Guys who throw other females in your face are doing that because they want to minimize you, and they want you to understand what your place is, and your place will always be subordinate. Your place will always be beneath them. When a guy does that, he's trying to create an expectation that he'll do what he wants, and you can't stop him. He wants you to compete harder for him. He wants you to do more work. He's trying to ease his burden by making you chase him and not the other way around. People should be meeting in the middle. That's healthy. But if anybody needs to chase anybody, the man should be using his masculine energy to entice a woman and not the other way around. A woman can only seduce a man. She cannot intrigue him through chase. And so you can seduce him and with some sex, but I haven't seen very many women chase a man in the absence of seducing him, and do it successfully. That's not the natural order of things. And so that's why it's so weird that so many men want to be chased, because that goes against the natural order of men taking charge. And um, it's not like every man is a predator, but a man who knows what he wants would at least create some dedication around making an effort, at least, even if he's not like, chasing or dominating or being a leader. Uh, Nidza, I don't want to beat your name up. Nidza, and your name is probably very normal, but it's clearly of a different culture and nationality, and I don't want to kill it. Nidza, Probably that's probably it, Nisa. Love and respect. Thank you so much for the $20 super chat. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to disrespect your super chat. She said, "I only dated Puerto Ricans now in the area where it's mainly blacks and whites. I only dated Puerto Ricans now in the area where it's mainly blacks and whites. I don't mind it, but I've been single 4 years." On top of that, and I don't know how to date out of my nationality. My culture is important. How will that work? As long as you pick someone, as long as you, when you do start dating, because you've been single for 4 years, it tells me that you're probably a little bit inactive. Um, as long as you pick somebody who accepts your culture and doesn't require you to change it, to modify it, to cover it up, it's it should work out fine. The problem with interracial dating isn't that two people come from a different culture, is that one person mutes themselves to assimilate with the other culture. It's that one culture is completely oblivious or unaware or detached from the plight of the other culture, their people. Like say you have been discriminated against for being Puerto Rican, and you date a white guy or a black guy. If they can't identify with that, or if they can't support you in whatever it might take for you to get through that, because they're just indifferent towards your the racism that you might encounter, or whatever issues that your people have had, and then it's part of your culture, it's a big part of who you are, or even not even that. I'm just thinking about that because of all the black people shit that's going on right now, and I might talk about that a little bit here pretty soon. But whatever you're facing, culturally, whatever you want to hold on to, whatever traditions, you don't have any business dating somebody who would. There are fireworks out here. That's another reason I need to get the hell out of this neighborhood. I need to be in a neighborhood where they will call the police on somebody for buzzing fireworks too early or too late in the season. Anyway, this middle of the road neighborhood shit is just not it. The point is, for you, if you want to hold on to certain holidays in your culture, to certain beliefs, to certain religious things, you want somebody who's going to allow you to be everything you are, and not decide that you have to do that by yourself. You want a partner who's going to join in, who's going to add to, and try to figure out, as much as they can about your people, your culture, the things you believe in, and allow you to be everything you are. You don't want to date anybody who's going to mute you, or require you to mute yourself in order to receive their love. And obviously, it goes both ways. If you date a black guy, you better be out there with a sign with his ass, because right now, everybody with the cause need to be out there with a sign, because shit is going down. And I think that Puerto Ricans don't always get treated any better from police, for that matter. So maybe y'all both need to be out there. But if you got a white boyfriend and he's like, well, that's their problem. No, it's not. It's your problem, or we over with. Like, you gotta have a partner who, if you're dating interracially, allows you to be everything you are, and then supports everything you are with the fullness of their hearts. So it can work, but you just have to select the right mate. I hope that helps. Aaliyah Khan, love and respect. She says, I'm 43. Getting out of an abusive relationship. How do I find love again? If you're getting out of an abusive relationship, you need to sit down for a couple of months and just chill. Get back into a positive, flowing, evolutionary relationship with yourself. Make sure you're growing. I don't know how long you're saying getting out, so I'm assuming you're in process of, or just recently out of. If you're getting out of an abusive relationship, yeah, you need to take your time getting back in a relationship, and make sure that you give yourself enough time to figure out how you've been negatively affected, what your new triggers are coming from this relationship, and what self-work you need to do to get back to a place to where you can provide a healthy relationship, and not just be a receiver of someone trying to be healthy. Because if you can provide a healthy relationship, you can meet the greatest men in the world, and you'll destroy it, because you've been acclimated to abuse, and you'll create the abuse where it doesn't exist, because that's what people who are acclimated to abuse do. Um, so make sure you're healthy, make sure you're whole again, and from that point, you just get around masculine energy in any way you can. Go to places where men are, frequent, dating sites, if that's something you want to do. But you have to have a plan if you're dating on dating sites. Maybe I need to outline a video about a plan for online dating, because there's a strategy. It's not just bumping into people online. You have to really know what your limits are, what your boundaries are, what you'll take and what you won't take, and you have to be committed to that. Because there's too many freakazoids out here. There's too many bozos. I ain't never said that word in my damn life, but there's some bozos out here that will waste your time. And um, it's important that you're very careful online. But yes, you can find love again. Get around some men. Get yourself together. Get yourself in the best shape that you can get yourself in, and get yourself in the best mental shape that you can get yourself in. Get yourself in the best spiritual shape that you can get yourself in. Dedicate yourself to accomplishing goals so that you have a lot more to be proud of, and can identify with the feeling of pride and accomplishment. When you meet a guy, you want to be holding your head up because you know of who you are, not what he thinks you are. So you have to make sure that you think you the shit before you start trying to date again. Excuse my French. Crystal P. I have a travel buddy. She stopped talking to me because I was sick during her B-Day getaway. That's shitty. Um, I couldn't do stuff. I never reach out. Neither did she. Should I call her? Sure, call her. Figure out what she about. Figure out what she on. Did I miss some of those? Figure out what she about. Figure out what she means. Figure out what's wrong with her, what her real deal is, what her real issue is. A lot of friends fall out over the dumbest stuff, and it's just some stupid stuff. And so it's like that doesn't sound like a good enough reason to be falling out with somebody, but I understand that that happens. But yeah, just have a conversation. But I don't know if I want a friend who's gonna be just firing me because we had a misunderstanding or I was unavailable. That's a conditional friendship, and I know most loves aren't unconditional. But you can't have a fair weather friend either, especially if you were sick. That don't even make sense. I think that that person needs to really evaluate what they believe a friend is supposed to be, and if they are one or not. Because I don't know if that's what a friend does. I got a friend I ain't talked to in like 9 months. If I called him right now, we still brothers. Like it ain't nothing about that. So I think that some of y'all need to figure out what a real friend is, and you know attach your definition to your actions and see if you're actually the real friend or the fake friend in your life. Um, I got I got 10 minutes. I had 10 minutes 1 minute ago or 2 minutes ago. So I'm getting off of here at 57 after 55 after actually. So if you got questions, I'm gonna try to get to them, but it's getting time is ticking. What are the chances? Latifah John, love and respect. I've seen you in the chat room before. She said, "What are the chances of a guy friend you dated who revealed to you later on that he doesn't have the same feelings for you eventually end up genuinely liking you? We're still friends. We're still friends, by the way." That happens. It doesn't happen a lot, but I talk to a lot of women who that happens for. They're like, I don't like this guy. We just friends with benefits, or we're just best friends, and that's it. And then over time, when somebody's good enough to you for long enough, and you spend enough time around them, you start to think of them differently. But even so, that would make you like a backup plan for him. And so the chances are low, but it's possible. But you don't want to be a consolation prize. You really want him to be committed to you if you're going to be with him. And so I guess it just depends on how much he likes you. So what I would do is I would leave that up to him. If he approaches you and he says, "Listen, I know I told you I didn't want to be with you, but the way we've grown is just put me in a different mind space. Not only do I want to be with you, but I feel like I need you, and we're already friends. I just want to make sure that we have everything, and I want to give you everything. And I don't know why I feel this way now, but it's my strongest emotion." Like if he tells you some gangsta shit like that, or some lovely romantic stuff. If he gives you that, then it'd be a good idea at that point. But if he's not fully enthused and fully engaged and fully committed to trying to figure out if he can be with you, then it would be problematic and counterintuitive for you to try to chase him for a relationship. I hope that helps. Only let him bring that up if it's the new norm for you guys. She said, so Nisa said, I'm not opposed to dating any race as long as they treat me good. I come from a small town where we're like 90% of the population. Now I'm in a big city. Yeah, as long as they treat you good and they treat your family good and they respectful of your culture and your people, do your thing. Um, I'm not necessarily a purist. I think that a lot of times black people have to stick together just because of our shared trauma, and it's very difficult for some people to relate to and then join us in the fight for equality. But brown people have their own plight, and Puerto Ricans have their own plight, and everybody has their own cultural issues that they deal with. So somebody says she's a Crystal P. She's a bitch. You deserve better. To hear Crystal P. Uh, Rachel. Rachel. I'm not gonna beat your last name up. Said that. So Crystal P. Rachel says she's a bitch. You deserve better. How I show it. Boom. Now it's there. If you cuss, YouTube blocks your comment, and that's for all of the people who will tell me to go back to Africa, nigger, every time I jump on live. Yeah, I think it's a game, but I can't tell you. I can't count how many times I hold that on live. My wife just does a very good job in blocking haters and doing that. And if I get my cousin in here, she gets to cussing people out quick. Y'all don't play with Mally So Blue if she gets in here moderating because she goes in. Um, anyway, I got 4 minutes. But yeah, as far as all the stuff that's going on in the country, since I mentioned it, y'all need to, if y'all, and I'm black and y'all say y'all got a black friend, y'all need to really be showing that y'all anti-racist, not just not racist. It's not enough to be not racist and neutral. They say it was good people who ignored the cries of the Jews. It was good people who turned the other cheek and allowed the Germans to drag their neighbors away. And 25% of their patients, they would be considered bad doctors. Well, 20 officer, and we need to address that. Immunity law in Colorado just got signed out of effect. So that's a huge one because that's basically a police officer's license to kill. And law enforcement do a hard job, and they are great police officers. But until people see good police officers stopping bad police officers, then they just assume all police officers are bad. And how could you? If Robin was raping people and Batman was saving people, but he knew about it, would you really think Batman was a hero? Probably not. You'd probably be like, damn, Batman, what an asshole. I mean, I know you stopped that bank robbery, but that girl was getting raped behind a trash can and you didn't even tell Robin to stop. Like, fuck, man. I thought you were a hero. We need another hero. Superman. Superman kicks Batman's ass every time, just in case you're wondering. Somebody said, Crystal P, we haven't spoken since January 2020, though. So your friend hasn't spoken to you in months because you were too sick to go to a party or a function. That's not a friend. That's a fair weather. She's a fair weather friend. When it's convenient for her, she'll show up in your life again and try to be your friend. Don't worry about people like that. Let her do her motherfucking thing. Kevin, I think it's awesome what you were doing and love the safe and informative space that you've created. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I take a lot of pride, in this space that we've created here. Somebody's evolved soul, just 2 nights. Again, anybody before I get off of here, because I got 2 minutes, so now I got to start doing my pitching. Wise Sisterhood. If you want to join the Wise Sisterhood videos, create an online course for women. So it's slower moving. We do a video every week and a half, sometimes every 2 weeks. But if you join a Facebook group, I respond to people on there every day. You pretty much get a direct line of access to me, and I do respond to my Facebook group. And we do inbox and we talk on my page and everything. So the Wise Sisterhood gives you increased access to me, but it also allows you to see the videos that I produce. Oop, hold on. Connection unstable. Hold on. I think my connection is unstable. Anyway, let me get off of here. I'm gonna try to do this. Uh, connection unstable. I think I'm on again. I'm on again. Okay, I think I'm on again. So, Wise Sisterhood allows you to watch me create a course as I do it, and you can follow the course. You can also do homework assignments, win free consultations, and all kind of things. If you join a Facebook group, it's a private Facebook group. You have to be a Wise Sisterhood member to get the link to the private Facebook group and to ask to join. But once you're in there, you can talk to me anytime you want to. That's $10 a month. You can cash at me if you want to support the channel. You can Patreon me if you want to support the channel at www.patreon.com/KevHick. If you need an email response, you have to go through my website. If you go through my DM, you will just be in a long list of, I don't know how many hundreds of people are requesting that I can't even sift through at this point. It's very difficult to get through them. If you want to get direct access to me, you might as well join the Wise Sisterhood. It's $10 a month, but at least you can talk to me on Facebook, and I can go right to your inbox and we can have conversations because I support the people who support me. Um, Unfortunately, for every 100 people that ask me a question, only about 3 of them try to go through the paid method. So while the free line is long, there's a very short line for people who actually pay for the service of email advice. People think YouTubers are rich because they assume that somebody else is doing it. 97% of the people who ask me questions are trying to do so in my free inboxes. So at this point, I can't even keep up with it. So if you want your question answered and you really want it answered, just go on and give the little couple dollars and get your damn question answered. So Patreon, Cash App, PayPal donation button is on the girltalkwithguys.com. If you want a consultation, you want to speak to me, or a FaceTime consultation, we'll be putting those up this weekend. So I'll be doing a promotion for my new FaceTime rates. But if you want a consultation, you want to talk to me about your problems, you want to talk to me about any issue you have, go through my website, girltalkwithguys.com. Click on services, and Talk with Kev Hick is there. Email advice is there. There's even a fitness training thing. I was doing that for a little bit. I think I'm gonna back away from that and just build more packages around FaceTimes and things of that nature. But you can get whatever you want from me if you are willing to pay for the service. If you're not willing to pay, then you are in a long list of people, maybe thousands, who don't want to pay but hope for the best. And I would love to give everybody free advice, but it's just not, it's one of me and thousands of you guys. So I hope that I'm not money hungry. I got a family to feed, and time is limited. It's short. I appreciate y'all so much for joining me on this live. I appreciate y'all for asking me these questions. I appreciate y'all for love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a wonderful day. Oh, somebody dropped $10 in the super chat just now. What she say? Thank you for your advice. She said, no, I got to read this before I get off of here. Now I'm losing my connection and my computer battery dying. Thank you for your advice. Man, what the hell? I'm getting off of here, but I'm trying to read. Thank you for your advice. I think I'm clicking the mouse too much. Okay. She said, thank you for your advice. I've been